Brian McCarthy Interview Show. If you're under 18, don't listen. Having said that, the show is really awesome. And if you did listen, no one would really know. But don't listen. Don't listen, kids. Okay? Don't listen.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios aprietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos.
Enfants du monde, détournez les yeux et bouchez-vous les oreilles. Le programme suivant, bien que spectaculaire et divertissant à tous égards, n'est pas pour vous. Veuillez vous détourner et jouer dans les Champs-Élysées ou peut-être dans les catacombes humides de Paris, car devant vous se trouve la ruine. Vous avez été prévenus, s'il vous plaît. N'écoutez pas, et pourtant, sachez que nous faisons tout cela pour vous, car vous êtes l'avenir et vous êtes la lumière. Que Dieu vous bénisse et dit bonjour à votre mère de ma part.
你好，圆眼睛的年轻人，请晋升阅读本内容，因为本内容仅供成年人阅读。如果你违背父母意愿选择阅读本内容，他们将不再爱你，你这个老兵。
Utatakoa obiaseke meazane otatia ulube kwa teazate usepo tatukua kalimu uko umnakwe akasume utatakoa obiaseke meazane otatia ulube kwa teazate uyoba obisha abichina.
Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink. In Uptown. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy, and it is my very real pleasure to be sitting here with Adam Hineker. On this,
like I'm receiving an award.
Yes, Adam. Adam has
didn't prepare a speech.
Adam's been with the company for it's an HR award.
Yeah, right,
it's a very
right.
lame award.
You get like a desk, something with green felt on the bottom.
Carol, you may remember Adam helped you with your issues with Barbara and the stapler. We have agreed that the stapler is hers on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and you get it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and a leap year. So, Adam,
we got
thank
a couple of lesbians co-parenting a stapler, a swing line.
Yeah, well, not a swing line. We're not.
No,
we're not a Fortune 500 company.
Right.
No,
too high end.
I got this on TikTok. It was $4.
Gotcha, the TikTok shop.
It was $4, but shipping was $70.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up checking the shipping until after the fact.
Your favorite anime character.
I am not good with TikTok shopping because I will just buy anything. I'm like,
it's kind of I've heard mixed. Well, same with Instagram and TikTok. People that have ordered things from the shop and then they've gotten just like bootleg weird stuff that wasn't in the picture.
A couple of things though
didn't actually work like they showed it.
If something shows up, I did buy one of those earwax removers, and then my niece was like, "Yeah, you're just gonna pop your eardrum." So,
right.
But then I will say this: sometimes I've ordered a couple of things on TikTok Shop, and it's been total shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just literally like say I'm gonna return it, and the company's like, "Yeah, just keep it. It's fine." Like, and they give your money
100%.
Right,
it's not probably worth the shipping.
Yes, exactly. So it's a weird double-edged sword kind of thing because you can order something and you can be like, "Oh, this sucks," and then you can just email them and they're just like, right. "It does." Yeah, you're right.
Keep it.
It does suck. It just shows you how incredibly like cheap all that shit is. Where they're like, part of the profit model built in is that 40% of the people will not want it and will not give it back, but you have to still, Right. So when you figure out the per unit price of the item, you have to be like, all right, well, we're going to have a bunch of people like realize this is total garbage and send it back. Or like, I got one of those nose hair things. It's like a little blade. It's like a Q-tip. It's like a bladed Q-tip.
Like a lot of grooming.
Yeah, a lot of grooming. Well, I got it covered in fucking weird hair.
Kind of grooming sort of tools for you.
You stick it up in your ear. I'm sorry, your nose rather, and you twirl it and it gets rid of the hair. And it does a pretty serviceable job. But it came with like
that I could use.
It came, you know what? I have extras.
You work on rectums.
Well, I nearly killed them. I know I work on rectums. I'll get back there. No promises, but I will leave no stone unturned. If it doesn't work, it's not because I didn't try hard.
Yeah.
Because no pun intended on the hard part. But so you get in there and you try to clean out your nose. But what's funny is like it came in like a little carrying case with like 2 extra ones. It's like it's a lot of product. Like you're just kind of like, all right, well, I guess I can take this with me when I go on trips. I guess, like part of my toilet at the Comfort Inn in Savannah, Georgia.
The Best Western.
Yeah, like, excuse me, call down to the front desk. Can I get some extra towels, please? I've cut up the inside of my nose horribly with my TikTok nose and my hand twirling shaver thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, although I did buy on TikTok Shop, I got these great. We go through a lot of fruit in this house, but enough about what I see in the mirror.
Fucking enough a bunch of preferences.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things. It's like those Russian nesting dolls, but it's like Tupperware, but it has like a kind of a basket in it, like a built-in colander.
Mhm.
Those are really great because
great for leftovers too.
Well, this is really okay. This is really only for fruit though, because
got you right.
You
right,
rinse
right.
it and then you put it and then you seal it.
So it seals. It
seals
them tight.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So because when they're in season, I can easily eat a pound of blueberries a day.
Yeah, saves some room in the crisper too.
Yeah, well, then because shit goes, especially like my children, like everyone likes grapes in my house, but like the minute they get a little soft, everyone's like, I don't like grapes.
Yeah.
So
I have the same problem.
Yeah. With the 9-year-old you're dating?
Yeah, with myself.
Yeah. If the grape doesn't have a little bite to it, it is kind
of have a little bite to it, but not too much.
No.
I got a batch the other day from Trader Joe's that was they were like I almost felt like they were frozen or something.
Have you ever returned fruit to the grocery store?
I have not. No.
Well,
you're like, neither have I. And then we both just get really quiet.
Yeah. That's the rest of the show. I'm like, can I talk to you off the show for a minute? Guys, we'll be back. I didn't realize Hinneker was German for Leierker.
Yeah.
No, but I when I was living in California, I went to buy crab meat, and I bought crab meat, and a can of crab meat, even like lump, but it's like from Indonesia, which is you don't really want to buy that crab meat, but it's pasteurized, so it's kind of like who cares. I was making a dip anyway, but it was like $80 for like this can of crab meat.
Yikes! Really?
Oh my god, crab meat!
Holy shit!
Crab meat is hella expensive.
Dumb expensive.
Yeah. I mean, if you buy like from Maryland, like hand-picked jumbo lump.
Shit, I had no idea.
Oh yeah, crab meat's really
expensive. I don't ever buy lump crab meat.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like the canned crab meat you can get by the tuna or whatever. I'm talking about like
okay. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No. I'm talking about this will be in a can, but it's cold. So
sure, it's refrigerated.
Yeah. So I brought this can. I brought 2 cans of this stuff. And actually, this is, I think if I remember correctly, it's like around $50. So it's like because you have jumbo lump, which is like the 5-star, and then you have lump, then you have back fin, then you have like claw meat. I'm from Baltimore, so it's very very important. Back fin, and it's behind the fins, in case you're wondering. And or as in Maryland you call the fins the devil, because if you eat it you die.
Is that right?
Nah, it's stupid. Shoot. But yeah, anyway, so
who's the devil?
Oh no. Don't eat the devil. Don't eat the devil. Then you're going to end up in the emergency room at Johns Hopkins.
Eat some crab chips or whatever.
Yeah, you're going to diarrhea. So you go and like. So I remember I went to the fancy grocery store by my house in LA. I got back home and I opened the 2 cans and it was like it wasn't even like crab in there. It was like black liquid, like the crab had like gone from a boat in the off the coast of like Madagascar or whatever, pulled up by slaves from Bangladesh to, seems like they just kind of put it on like the dashboard of a 1994 Toyota Corolla and just drove it from there to America with no refrigeration. Because I opened this can.
Room temp.
Oh my god! I opened the can and it was like it was like a black liquid.
Shit.
It was like the crab had completely, and it smelled like I would imagine pussy. Am I right? But no, it smelled awful. So I took both cans back. It was called Bristol Farms, the place in LA, and I brought both cans back. And like I went to the fish guy and I was like, hey, I just bought this, and he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. He's like, do you want new cans? And I was like, no. I won't be eating crab again for 5 years. No. Like
but let me just get this. So this is like a sealed. It's sealed.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's not like a.
It was, and it was when I picked it up, it was cold. Like the guy took it out of the cold refrigerator case,
but it had turned. It sounds like years ago.
Yeah. Although when crab goes, it goes thankful.
But you would think there would be a date on that,
it
and
was
then
it was clearly something's wrong with the can, or
yeah,
but it
right,
looked sealed.
right.
It looked like it was fine. I mean, I wouldn't have bought a dented can of $60 crab meat. So, but I remember that the guy was like, okay, and he was like, well, do you want your money back? And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then
right.
he was like,
we could start there.
Yeah, he wanted to give me a gift card to Bristol Farms, like a $120 gift card.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I'll just take the cash. And he was like, well, and I was like,
he's trying to give you store credit,
kind of,
like,
yeah.
So you can use it to buy more rancid crab.
He's like, this is only good for bad crab or bad shrimp. That's it. But you can't use it for anything else. You see that little? You see that little
fine print?
Yeah. See the little notch on top of the gift card? This is only to be used in the purchase of other spoiled crustaceans.
Yeah, a little star seafood that's turned.
We have a special right now on
spoiled crustaceans.
Yeah. We have mossy scallops right now that are covered in like a thin green moss, and those look pretty fucked up. So we can sell you those, but it's our policy. We only trade horrible items for other horrible items.
Right.
So I have kind of a funny story about that place, which I don't think I've ever told you. But one time, this place was called Bristol Farms, and it was up where I lived in LA, up in Westlake Village, and they had this long butcher counter. And I maintain that in Los Angeles, that they don't really have like the same sort of, at least I didn't see it, the same sort of food culture we have here. Like in New York, you go, oh, this is a good butcher, this is a good place. People just kind of, like when you would go to the counter for like sliced meats and things, you would go and they would have like the big thing of ham, but it was always for display, and they'd have a bunch of shaved ham
for show. Oh,
underneath.
I've seen that at places here,
which I think is totally gross.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Yeah, unless you're like the turnover shortcut is so great. Yeah. You're like, we can't hire someone to slice.
Well, there is one place, the place that I don't really ever go to by where I live. They do, because at a certain point the deli closes. Okay. So they just kind of like leave. Ew. Like they have that day, I'm assuming, and then they toss them the next morning. But it's, I don't know, whatever time the deli guy leaves, it's at night. Yeah. They do, and it'll be like, this is a pound of boar's head honey ham.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Eduardo, before you head out, leave us 2 pounds of olive loaf, and just kind of put it on a pile there, and before you wipe down the inside of the case. But the this place was kind of, I go to this back of this is like a nicer store, and I'm in Bristol Farms, and I'm looking at it, and there's this little guy in like chef whites. And he's at the counter with me, and he looks over at me. I look at him, and he looked like Mario from Mario Brothers, he had a mustache, little guy, little mustache.
Of Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, the plumbers from that are always
famous for
with the gorilla and everything. Yeah. You know what they call Donkey Kong?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this.
Have. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry,
I would assume we probably talked about it on the show, but I mean, we can do it quick.
Because when the Japanese, when Konami, the company, they didn't know the word for monkey was monkey. Yeah. And they couldn't call it King Kong because of copyright or trademarks or whatever. So they just said, we'll call it Monkey Kong, but they thought monkey was donkey. So they called it Donkey Kong. And then they just made the cases, and they were like, fuck it.
Before you could now just be a quick Google search for the entire.
This is the early. Yeah, they sent letters out to the coast. They were like, how do you spell? Is it monkey or donkey? They're like, we're going to need about 3 weeks to get back on this one.
Yeah, it's crazy that wouldn't
dice.
Be readily available information.
Right. Roll the
even in the, I don't know, late 70s or whatever. I
don't think they cared. I think they were like, donkey,
not enough
monkey,
to like
fucking.
They cared enough to make a whole game. And back then that was like, going to space probably.
And weirdly, I think Donkey Kong is such a better name than Monkey Kong anyway. Like Donkey Kong is because it's
pretty good.
Yeah, the alliteration of it. Like I think it was a what they would call a happy accident maybe. But anyway, so I'm at the counter, and they have like, and this was a good deli counter, and they also had like, this was like meat and stuff. So this little Italian guy, and he's like pointing at something, and he doesn't speak any English at all. And he's saying, but he's talking to me, and he's going like kind of like, do you like? He was kind of like literally like pointing at something in the counter and rubbing his stomach and going like, va bene, va bene. And I knew he was Italian because he was saying bene, which is Italian for good. It wasn't like,
was Italian.
Yeah. So, and I was like, I said, sì, molto bene. And he goes, and so the guy comes over, the guy behind the counter comes over, and he goes, okay. And the guy kind of knew him weirdly. And he goes, three, and puts his hands up. And the guy's like, 3 pounds. And he goes, yeah. So he takes all this. I don't know what the fuck it even was. It was like, it was clearly some sort of an organ. So the guy takes it out. And the guy turns to me and he goes, you, and he's pointing at me and he goes, and he like come with me with his fingers.
Jesus.
So the guy with the behind the butcher counter was like, I said to him, I'm like, do you know this guy? Like, what is this? and he
the
goes,
nature of your
yeah, like, what am I doing here? And the guy goes, well, there's an Italian restaurant next door, and he is not the chef, but he's like the chef's, like, I don't know, brother or something.
Okay,
and he's visiting from Italy. And I don't know. I guess he wants you to go to the restaurant with him.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So I say to the guy, I go, and we walk into the restaurant together, and they're looking at me, the people that work in the restaurant. It's like a nice Italian, trattoria kind of thing. One of those places that had the giant wheel of Parmesan. They make like the cacio e pepe in it, right. So I walk in, and they immediately are like, oh, Pietro's brought another one of his boys in here, because the guy. So we walk in together, and the guy's talking in Italian to somebody else in the kitchen. There's also Italians in the kitchen. And the guy says to me, he wants you to try, and they were veal kidneys.
Gotcha.
And he was like, he wants you to try these veal kidneys.
Kidney Parmesan.
And so that's why you're over here. Like, do you want to try that? So he just
flagged you down from the being in line at the deli, or kind of near the proximity? Gotcha.
Well, we're the only two back there.
Sure.
And I was standing near the other kind of like weird, like they had like some tripe and shit. They had like kind of a weird area. Yeah. So I guess he was kind of like, oh, another gentleman who likes organ meat.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Caught you near the Braunschweiger.
I'm like, oh, you're not wrong. So I go, okay. And there was a wine shop. Actually, Bristol Farms sold wine, because in LA you can buy fucking booze everywhere. So I said, I'll be back. So I went and bought a bottle of Amarone.
You needed something to go with the veal.
Now I'm having like
gizzard
dinner with this guy. I didn't want to show up empty-handed. So I tell the Italian guy who was like kind of translating. I said, I'm gonna go get a bottle of wine.
Yeah, there's something to watch. This is very much in your drinking days. Obviously.
Oh, yes, very much. So, yeah, I was like, I can have 3 glasses and drive. It's fine. I don't have to pick the kids up for 20 minutes. So I go back next door. I get a $60 bottle of Amarone. It's an Italian wine. It's a nice Italian wine. I get one of those. I bring it back. And then the little chef guy had set up like a little area for us. It was like a 3:30. So it was between service. But I noticed that like the back of the staff, like clearly either this guy was gay or...
That's so funny, because I was just going to say, or is this guy looking for a gay encounter, but he's very old fashioned? He's setting it up like Lady and the Tramp.
I don't think what he knew. I don't know what he wanted. I think he was like, look, we're going to start off. This guy's going to put this in his mouth. Who knows?
For you to start on one end of an organ and meet in the middle. Holy shit.
And but he's showing me also how to make these things.
He lures.
Yeah. So now I'm like,
he lures in unsuspecting deli patrons.
Yeah, pretty much. Beautiful boys.
How have you never? I always find it funny that I have never heard this story.
It's the truth.
But I've heard the Donkey Kong thing.
I know 100 times. Yeah. I know everyone hates the show. I'm sorry. So
I just enjoy
I got so many comments on Instagram about I keep my shoulders up. Everyone's like, "Where's your neck, faggot?" I'm like,
"Oh, geez, Louise,
right, guys, here's my."
You got to kind of hunch when you're,
I'm like Larry King.
Yes, essentially.
So I'm sitting here with Cheetah Rivera.
I think either sit up straight or get suspenders.
He didn't. His famous thing was no research. He would sit across somebody and he would go, "So who are you?"
The best was, you saw the Seinfeld one, right? Where he's like,
so your show's not doing well.
You didn't know that it had run its course. And he was like, did you get canceled? And he's like, no, Larry. It was the number one. Oh. It was so funny to watch Seinfeld just butt hurt.
Okay. See,
because he didn't know, because Larry King didn't do any but Larry King doesn't do any research. It keeps him inquisitive.
See, Shane Gillis, I'm your Larry King. Okay. You're my Seinfeld. Are you happy now? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Guy's married like 9 times.
Keeps the flame under your ass.
So tires. Are you getting tired of being not successful? I am successful. She pulls out like an American Express card. It's like platinum.
I got
Look
the
at that.
black. Yeah, right.
You know, the guys from Mechanicsburg have a platinum American Express card. You fucking piece of shit. Why don't you go find your neck?
It's prepaid platinum.
Right. Excuse me, Metro PCS. Hello. So the guy, so now I'm like in the kitchen and they're getting ready for the night service, and I'm in the way of people, and the guy's taking the kidneys and he's got them soaking in milk, and he pulls them out, and he pats them dry, and he's just now. Here's the thing about, I know it's an insert joke here, but here's the thing about organ meat is that
Please,
it's good, but if it doesn't look like the organ, does that make sense? Like for example,
right?
Like
Yeah.
I love sausage. I mean, it sounds like a dumb joke, but like you don't ever want to watch sausage being made because it's just ground up intestines.
Don't I know it?
Yeah, exactly. It's everything, and they have to feed it into like a thick casing of circumcision, fucking meat and everything else. It's gross. So anyway, so like when you go to for example, I like pate. I like a pate, but like I don't really like the foie gras liver if it's because usually it's a big piece. Anyway, I'm sort of getting off as usual, but my point is like these kidneys, they just looked like kidneys. It wasn't like he was going to take them.
God, right? Yeah, because you want. I know what you mean.
Toss them in some pappardelle pasta or some kind of a sauce or
just
something.
Looked like kidneys.
These were just, and he's taking them out, and he's got this big long grill, and he's just grilling up kidneys. And we're drinking my Amarone. And we're standing there with like, you know, our cups of wine or glasses of wine. And like the other guys are like in the kitchen. You can tell like now these guys are mainly Hispanic. And they're kind of looking at me like, oh, like this is another gay guy. This guy picked up. And, you know,
this is like a weird. I feel like this could have taken a turn for I don't know, like for the Dahmer.
I think
you know what I mean? Like this sounds like a kind of a West Coast.
I was being groomed.
Jeff Dahmer kind of situation. Like, but he's actually starting with organs as an appetizer.
It was kind of an interesting thing.
You with organs.
Yeah. So I'm standing there, I'm watching him, and he takes them out of the milk and he pats them dry. And then he puts them on this hot oil grill and puts them on the grill, does a little salt and pepper on them. And then he does the one side for like 4 minutes. And by the way, you know, typically you make small talk with somebody, but he doesn't speak English.
Sure.
And
so you're just.
I don't speak Italian. So once, like within the 4 minutes, he'd look over at me and he'd rub his stomach and go, yum, 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 yum.
The weirdest.
And I would go back and be like, yeah, it looks. I said, molto bene. I kept saying molto bene, molto bene, molto bene. So, and he flips it, and then he goes over and he gets a lemon and he cuts a lemon in half, and all the thing looks like the exact same kidney before he had started to grill it, but now it just has grill marks on it.
Yeah,
and he's got
like kidney with grill,
and he has like
a little char,
and he has like 8 of them out, and he flips them and once he flips all of them, he puts them on a platter, and he takes lemon and he squeezes lemon all over it, and then he kind of like motions for me, and now we go to our little setup table.
Yeah,
it'd be great if there was like a guy with one of those accordions,
of course, yeah, maybe an opera singer.
When the moon hits your rock.
Yes.
Right. So we sit down, and I'm like looking at this, and number one, again, I can eat pretty much anything, right? But I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's a lot of fucking veal kidneys on this plate, like a lot. Like, are we expecting other boys? Are other boys coming over for our organ party? Hello. Where are the other boys? It'd be funny, like some runaways come out. He's like, what? He's had him in the walk-in.
Yeah, I bet if you hadn't taken him up, he would have had to probably pick up a drifter.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
On like a little Vespa
scooter. Drifter.
Pulls up to a red light in a Vespa scooter. Hey, and he just pats behind himself.
Yes.
Mangia, Easter. And he's pointing at his stomach.
Right.
Mangia.
He's feeding grilled organs to a fentanyl addict.
So I get in my little seat. He gets in his seat. There's no bread. There's no pasta.
Just the wine that you brought.
The wine.
And
grilled veal kidneys that have been soaked in milk for 10 minutes or so. But when I went to get the wine, he went right to work. Yeah. And they had lemon squeezed on them. And he puts, and they're fucking kidneys. They're I don't know, they're 4 inches long and 2.5, 3 inches wide. I mean, it's a thing, right? And there's like a lobe, and he puts 4 of them in front of me. Like, it's a lot of kidneys.
4.
It's a lot of kidneys. And he's just looking at me, and he's got one on his plate. I'm like, what's in these fucking?
He's got
There's
one.
one. Yeah.
Some kind of weird sedative,
And
or
he's like-
maybe he thinks it's an aphrodisiac or something.
Hey,
Because things like oysters, they say, you know,
it might affect my libido. I eat these kidneys, and I'm like, for
Yeah.
dessert, I want to suck your cock. And
yeah, that's
fucking-
what I'm wondering if maybe that's what he read something or
I go to the other Italian guy. I'm like, can you translate and say, meet me by the dumpster for your
Yeah.
dessert blowjob?
sure.
Give me your gelato. And so the guy goes, so we sit down, and I take one bite of the kidney, and you know, it's number one
about what you'd expect.
also you want to eat these when they're hot, and like these were grilled fine, but the lemon was cold. I don't know. It was if you want to be nice about it, it was certainly a very traditional. I don't know traditional from where, but I feel like I was eating something that they ate in like Rome in like the second century or something, like nettles or something, or bird brains or something. So I get through my one.
Yeah.
And he's not even eating yet. I mean, he's looking at me, and I'm like,
I'm just watching.
It was
you?
like fear factor. So I start eating the second one, and then I get through about half of it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw up because these are just getting colder.
Oh God.
And they're getting
texture.
Yeah. They're getting mealy, and what made me laugh because I remember thinking to myself, like, this guy's actually a terrible cook. Like because sometimes you think like it's a magical story. Like
sure,
he's like this,
and it's the best thing you've ever tasted.
No, wasn't any of
but
that.
it was bad.
It was bad. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So
who even is? And you think that he was like related to
Oh,
somebody that?
Well, because later I ran into another restaurant guy.
You guys dated for several months. After
Bristol
that.
Farms.
You got to know his family.
Like a couple weeks, because I would go there all the time, this market, and I ran into another guy from the restaurant, and he said, and that guy had gone back to Italy. Apparently, he was only over here for like vacation. He's like, I'm over here to do two things: make a veal kidneys and suck us so much a cock. And I'm all out of veal kidneys.
Courting deli patron.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I asked the guy, I said, what was the deal with that guy? And he was like, oh, that was like Matteo, the fucking guy's brother, came over from Naples. And, he was over here for a couple of weeks, and he was kind of helping. The restaurant had just opened. It was like a new restaurant. So he had opened. He was like, Matteo was here to open, and he was here for a couple of weeks, and now he's gone back. And
I'm guessing he's not back of the house because it doesn't sound like he's a very good cook.
Well, he was like a good enough. I don't know. Maybe he was so horny. Maybe he forgot some steps, or maybe forgot to bread them or something.
Goodness.
So I remember I ate half of the second one, and I literally ran out of there. I turned to him, and I actually kissed him on both cheeks.
I cannot do this.
I said,
Matteo.
I said, I didn't know his name. I said, mille grazie. Oh, and I'm like, when you don't speak the language, but you're just going to talk loudly.
Going to do the affect.
It's too much for me. Is it too much? So is it too much? So I just went like with my hands like this, and I literally turned around, and I left I kind of motioned to the quarter bottle of wine on the table, and I was like, for you.
For you. An offering.
I fucking beat it out of
what
there.
What in the world?
I ran out. But I mean, that was the deal. It was a guy that was on like some sort of weird work vacation who was lonely. And, weirdly enough, when I was much, much, much younger, I worked at a place called Italia, which was this Italian restaurant that did pizza like by the foot. So you would go in, and they had these right by where Sparks is on 46th Street, and that they brought over an Italian pizza guy to kind of teach everyone how to do it.
Wow.
And he had this, I think I'm that's my type, because this guy, I was a lot younger. I was like 19. And I remember they put him up in an apartment next door, and he brought me over. He wanted to show me his apartment.
Yeah.
And he didn't speak any English. And I'm looking around this like little studio apartment, and he's showing me like these pictures of like, they were like postcards of his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, show me the beach. And he was like, the beach. And I said, oh, that's nice. And then he would give me pizza, and then I sort of
and back rubs.
Yeah. And yeah, are your feet nice?
Yeah.
It'd be great. Like if you don't speak any English and you start to learn English, but it's only like weird, dirty, perverted English.
Right.
I want to smell your butter cheeks.
You're like a magnet for weird repressed, because they're very open, but I don't know about gay stuff. I think that's a bit frowned upon. It's very hetero normative.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Very Catholic.
Hey, really quick, we got a couple of super chats.
What's up, guys?
First, Ray Cohn Esquire.
Hi, Ray.
Our legal counsel, our official legal counsel here.
Yep. Good Chavez.
I saw a pic online of a very well endowed stormtrooper
Fuck yeah.
That you? He says.
Yep, that was me.
Fuck yeah.
That was me yesterday. I did my inaugural troop with the
Butt fucking a Mario brother.
shout out to the
You know what I'm saying?
Empire City 501st. I was in the basement of the New York City Comic-Con yesterday for a couple of hours, and not much really to report. Everyone was very nice.
Mhm.
I was there, and I was in my stormtrooper outfit, and it was funny. Some of the other guys were like, it was a bunch of guys, men and women that dress up. Although I was like, if you're dressed up as a stormtrooper, you're a guy, but but
Typically, but there could be.
you know what I'm
could,
saying? Like it's a masculine, it's just whatever. It doesn't.
Sure.
What am I even saying? But the people were there, and so you sort of had like this area, and then you had like, if he's talking about the one picture I put up, it was like me with a snow trooper.
Yeah.
Some other guy, but there's snow troopers, and there were AT-AT drivers and TIE fighters and TIE wing. That's an X-wing. God, what am I saying?
Silly
And so it's an organization where you dress up like these for charity and things. And so I finally like got it together to actually be part of this. And so I was there for 4 hours yesterday. It was fine. I took pictures of people, and it was fun. I took a couple of guys were like, they're funny. They were like, oh, I like your uniform. No, what did you make it? Because there's a lot of like hobbyists.
That would be crazy if you made that.
Dude, there's almost all the guys make it. I'm like one of those guys that like buys into the organization. I'm an eccentric millionaire guy. I went to RS Props. Shout out there in England. Maybe I'll visit them when I'm over there next July. So I bought, and the guy was like, "Oh, is that RS Props?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Did you swap out the hooks for Velcro yet?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Well,
really inside."
Oh God,
talk.
yeah. These guys knew their shit. So, but they're all very nice. But it was funny because the night before, I couldn't remember if I bought my ticket or not to New York Comic-Con, because I got an email from them saying like, "Don't forget to buy your Thursday ticket." And I was like, "Fuck, did I buy my Thursday ticket?" So I tried to go through my email. I didn't see any kind of receipt or anything. So I just bought a ticket. And then when I bought that ticket, I got a confirmation, and I was like, and it's $90 a ticket. So I was like, fuck. So I bought 2 tickets for yesterday by accident. Then Wednesday night at like 2 in the morning, not 2 in the morning, at 12:30, I called American Express, and I was like, "Hey, I just bought a ticket like 3 minutes ago for something that I already have a ticket to."
Sure.
And the woman was like,
"I'm a silly goose."
She's like, "I'm sorry." She goes,
and you said, "Do you want to come? What are you doing?
Yeah. Where are you?
What are you got to kind of?
How about
you have access to a Boba Fett costume?
I'm gonna make you feel kidneys. You dress up like a wampa.
I'm gonna put up the photo because you sent it to me. There's Brian right there, and
there I is
standing with is that the I don't know what's that
snow
thing called?
trooper.
Snow trooper. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, and the other guy, the guy in the middle.
Snow trooper.
I don't know what his deal is. I don't know who that guy is. But I don't know what. I don't think he was. I don't think he was in canon, as we say.
Yeah.
He
tried to grill me some veal kidney. He lured you in with
I made a really, now for those of you who don't know, when you say canon, that means it's in the sort of it's like historically accurate to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
So this photographer came over, and there was like a bunch, we were in a whole like Star Wars area, and we were taking pictures and of all of us, like stormtroopers and rebel people, and all these different, and then some guy wanted to get in the picture, but he wasn't a particular character. He was just dressed up like something. And another stormtrooper said to me, "Yeah, he's not canon." So I mean, dorkiest joke. I said, "Yeah, if he's not careful, he's going to be canon." He goes, "Welcome to the group. Fucking, you're in,
roasted."
Buddy. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that was what I did all day yesterday.
Okay.
And but when I bought the 2 tickets, so then I just emailed customer service for Reed Pop, which is the Comic-Con company, and I was like, "Hey, I'm an idiot. I bought 2 tickets by accident. So here's a screenshot of the 2 tickets. I only need one of these." They gave me my money back. I was blown.
Nice.
I know. I was blown away.
People aren't in the business of trying to bamboozle you, but it was an accident. It was an honest mistake.
It could have very easily been like, "Listen, you bought the ticket.
All sales final."
Yeah, go find somebody.
Right. Hey, another one here from Properly Labeled. He says, since we're on Deli Hour,
yes.
Did you guys see Saul Zabar passed?
I did.
Can we get a recap of the James incident with the pickles in memoriam? And not only can you get that, but you can also get the James Besser memorial ringtone that I'm about to play for you, just in
Okay, so for those of you who don't
in
know, there's
memoriam.
a place called Zabar's on the Upper West Side, and it's like this institution of Jewish, it's like a salmon smokes. They're famous for their smoked salmon and all their bakery goods like arugula and I don't know, fucking Baileys and black and white cookies. They may have
Yeah.
invented the black and white cookie, maybe.
Holy shit!
No, I know, big deal. And it's
It was
just,
by accident. It was just white cookies, but
yeah, it's like with that old
Somebody
commercial with the
slipped
peanut
and-
butter, my
yeah.
chocolate my
Yes.
peanut butter. Some old Jewish
Uh-huh.
guy had a white cookie, and some other guy.
and a vat of
He's
chocolate.
like,
and it
coming
was-
through, coming through.
That's delicious. Not for nothing.
You only
I
got
would eat that. I would do that on purpose.
the one guy gets angry. The other guy, he's like, you only got it on half the cookie. Wait, don't throw it out. Let's have a bite.
Don't throw it out.
Don't throw it out. Let's see if we've made something. I know what we can do. We'll call it a black and white cookie. Well, that's a little. I call it a zebra
Yeah, a
cookie.
little on the
but-
nose.
well,
Sure.
yeah, we could have been a little more. But
A mulatto cookie.
I can't believe it. Some people are so old. I'm like, I didn't know that the Zabar's guy was still even alive. The really fascinating thing about Zabar's is that
like his name's Saul.
could it
It's
be
the perfect
any more
name.
Saul Zabar? But the thing about it's wild is that Eli, I believe, is his brother, and they got into a huge, some sort of like, I don't know, I guess brother fight about Zabar's, and Eli's over here on the east side where I live on 3rd Avenue. So there's Zabar's on the west side and Eli's on the east side. And so, but the story that we're talking about is James, who is on the show. Do you want to play it before?
Yes, let's play it. Just for fun. This is the James Besser memorial ringtone. These were all outtakes set to a music bed of Bach,
Yes.
who is his favorite.
Because James was a classical pianist.
And all of these outbursts, I will say, happened in the first 5 minutes of meeting him.
Maybe
he was
maybe
he
three.
Was a treasure.
What's your language? Please, excuse me. I'm a guest. It's hard work, okay? I've been diagnosed with a musical talent, superior intelligence. That was, anyway, sarcastic. You didn't pick it up. Excuse me. I need an extra 2 minutes. And you're the moderator. You're Chris Wallace. Now, I'm a guest. I'm doing this for free. I'm doing you a favor. And then you said something about about my weight. This is inappropriate. People keep breaking my boundaries like you all the time, asking inappropriate things, making inappropriate comments. I have strong boundary issues. I told you before I came on the show, there were certain topics, and especially my mental health. This is absolutely off bounds. Watch your language.
That's
By the way,
Jimmy Besser.
when he yells and he goes, I have strong boundary issues. That's my favorite.
He was like foaming at them, but he was really hamming it up.
Yeah,
he was extra crazy.
Although I have to say, when you say hamming up, I think those were
mania, just
I think,
fun
yeah,
mania.
because we did see the other side of that, and it was no fun.
100%. Yeah, he was tamped down with a lot of
something was going on.
So mood stabilizers or something.
When you see somebody with mental illness like that, it kind of breaks your heart because you're like, they seem like they're having so much fun when they're like that. Like, he was.
I know. I was having a great time.
Ebullient and effervescent,
Right?
And or is he buoyant? I don't know. That's
Yeah,
the word,
but properly labeled is wondering about the. Do you remember the pickle story? I remember the broad strokes.
So famously during COVID, James, who lived, on the Upper West Side, not too far from where I was living at the time, and I was been to his apartment a couple times, and he was in Zabar's, and he would not wear a mask in Zabar's, and this is during COVID.
Was what it was. Yeah.
And a woman was yelling at him because he wouldn't wear a mask. So apparently, and he was the kind of guy that would like go into Zabar's and buy one pickle, like he
like spend the day.
Yeah, like looking around,
sample everything.
You said this was sour. This is not sour enough. I'd like a sourer pickle. Is it? You say this is kosher dill? To me, this is more dill kosher. Blah, 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 blah. So, and apparently some woman, and James is the kind of guy, James is gay, and and he didn't really like women necessarily. And I think what had happened was she told him to wear a mask, and James, and this is the greatest part about it, because he told us in the story, and this is how you know it's true, he took the pickle out of the plastic. So it wasn't like a plastic wrap pickle. It was like a raw dog pickle, if you will. And he threw it at the woman, and he threw a pickle at her. And I don't know how big the pickle was or whatever it is. But by the way, is there a more Jewish fight than
no? I don't think than an actual
pickle fight.
Yeah.
Boy, I'd be disappointed if I showed up.
Actually,
I came for a pickle fight.
Not what I said.
No, that's not what I signed up for. Excuse me. I'll be over with the black and white cookies.
Oh boy.
So we call them mulatto crackers. No,
Sure.
we don't.
No, not
No, no,
anymore.
no,
Now they're
not-
mixed. Now they're
yes.
mixed cookies.
Mixed cookies, exactly. So that was but the crazy thing with James was like he told us that story, and he was like, "Can you believe that bitch?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, James. Like, when is it ever appropriate to throw a pickle at somebody?" But he had gotten kicked out of his A-bars, but he had also, and I wish we had kind of dug in a little deeper because he had gotten kicked out of his A-bars before. So like he clearly
on
was
like
a
no-fly list for.
he was clearly like, if he wasn't, he was either on like pickle probation or had been let back recently and sort of was kicked out again or something. So anyway, so that's the pickle story. So James threw a pickle.
He threw a pickle at a woman during COVID.
And I imagine they were like, "Listen, you've got to leave," and he was like, "I was leaving anyway."
Yeah.
I
was just I'll see myself out.
Yeah, completely indignant. Takes off. Not only is he not wearing a mask, but he like takes off his shoes. He's like, "Now look, now you all have athlete's foot and imaginary COVID." Just like Obama. You're like, all right, James.
He's ranting about Fauci.
Just little white spittle in his corner of his mouth.
Well, he always kind of did have a little bit, because I remember the first time I met him just before those clips from the ringtone which by the way, if you go patreon.com/Brian McCarthy, if you want to sign up, there's ringtones like that. There's videos, there's all the bonus episodes. But it's just one of the many things that you get if you go.
Yes. And if you're on the Patreon and
you want to sign up
as your ringtone, I'm telling you, it's a great way to make new friends because
great conversation starter.
People go, "What the fuck is that?
Is that Bach?"
Yeah, is that Bach?
Mm-hmm.
I like when I asked him for another great James line was when I said I was looking to take voice lessons because for those of you who may or may not know, I used to study opera as a child, and so I went to James, and this is during COVID. I had like nothing going on. I mean, as opposed to now, and I said, "James, I'm looking for somebody who can do like Zoom voice lessons," and he goes, "They're all terrible, but this one is the best of the worst. The best of the worst.
Best of the worst."
Yeah. And I told the guy when I was on the phone with the guy, I was like, "I got your number from James Besser," and he was like, "Oh Jesus,
that catty old queen."
Yeah. And he was like, I said, you're the best of the worst.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well," and then
funny enough, I've sort of had that same feeling about giving referrals, but I've never said it. Like, I'm not gay enough to say it.
Right.
I'm pretty gay, but I'm not gay enough to be that like
catty.
Yeah, right. Where
yeah.
I'm like, I don't really have like a good person I could refer you to, but I have this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's available. You know?
Yeah, exactly. He won't hurt you.
Yeah. He'd probably gouge you financially, and you're not going to really get what you pay for. But but I mean,
it's a person.
You won't be without somebody.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so the Zabar's guy, but so the and I remember that Eli place that's over here. They're famous because I remember it was like last summer they had like a ham and cheese sandwich for $30. It's like the most expensive market.
Ooh, I would actually maybe do that.
No, I'm starving.
Yeah, on a special occasion.
And the old Zabars, they used to. I remember famously, like, I mean, this is 100 million years ago, but like they'd be like, they would put in their advertising how much they pay their salmon slicers. They're like, "We pay our salmon slicers $80,000 a year because they're so good at salmon slicing."
I don't know that there's any other thing where they give the salary of the.
We pay these morons,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a surgeon or something.
But it's not kosher because they have pork buns and stuff there, so it's not a kosher place. But it's still Zabar's is still there. I mean, I don't know if the thing about here's the thing about Jews is when they die, they don't do like a huge they put them in the ground.
Put you
quickly.
In a pine box and put you in the. That's why a lot of the true crime stuff that I watch, it can be complicated for detectives because they need to get you in the
ground
quickly. I think the guy that came up with that probably murdered his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some rabbi was like, "No, this is what we do. We need to. It's tradition." You're like,
she had a cold. Grab a shovel.
Essentially, he was concerned about forensics. I think
her forehead looks caved in. She was sneezing.
She fell.
That's a sneezing.
She fell.
She had a soft head. That's what happened. Too many of those.
Why did she have a gunshot
Too many of those Lisa Bonet cookies. I'm still making black and white jokes.
Sure,
everybody.
yeah, like Kravitz cookies.
So, all right. So let's get to the elephant in the room for a minute.
Oh yeah, there is.
I just want to.
No, I don't think anybody knows that there's an elephant.
Well, okay. I don't want to like spend it. And by the way, once we do this, unless people bring it up, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it's. I mean, I'm sort of having fun with it, but it's sort of like I don't want to be more than anything. I don't want to be accused of like milking this nonsense any more than I've already been accused of milking the nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, for those of you who know, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Austin, Texas, and I was at the mothership on Sunday night, and I was at Joe DeRosa's shows, and the last show, I was in the bar, and I met that Tony Heathcliff guy who was very. Am I saying his name right?
Hinchcliffe. But I never know if you're joking.
No, I'm never joking.
Henchman. Hinchcliffe, but you're thinking of the famous cartoon cat.
Yeah,
right?
like he's like the other Garfield.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like yeah, like the RC Cola Garfield.
Yeah.
Anyway, who, by the way, was a very nice guy. He was fine. I don't understand.
Sure.
It was no static with. I don't know.
No problem with Heathcliff.
So meet that guy. Meet Hinchcliffe. Now I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Meet him. He's fine. Then Shane Gillis shows up. I'm with Joe, and Shane says to me, just kind of out of the gate, just 100 miles an hour, and he goes, "You said a bunch of shit about me, and then you put it on Twitter." And I said, "Well, yes, I did say stuff about you, but I never put anything on Twitter." And I know I don't mean to keep going over this, but
yeah, we're not going to really get into it.
No.
But here's all the details again.
Well, I just want to these really are the broad strokes. I mean,
yeah,
so I'm going to be
compared to
I'm going to be done in about 45 seconds. I'm not even going to mention the girl I talked to or anything. Okay. So go in. He says this to me. The Tony guy comes over. I sort of explain. Tony says to Shane, what's going on? I sort of say to Tony while I'm saying it actually to Shane, like, listen, you came on the show, the show was called Burning Bridges. People come on and they'd be sort of antagonistic and we just, you were sort of big timing.
Yeah, it was the brand.
It was just kind of what it was, but it literally, I was saying to the guy while I was standing there, I was like, look, it's no big deal. Like it's something and I actually
like a roast or something. You're not going to be like,
hey
man, that was rude. What you said.
I don't even know like what we're talking about. So
right.
And basically, while we're standing there and Joe's there too. And I just said to the guy something along the lines of like, look, you're having I can't even tell if you're joking or not. Like you're having a great career, but I knew he wasn't joking because somebody had told me even if I ran into him, he might be kind of still.
Well, I mean, I told you, Kevin, he mentioned it to Kevin, not knowing you guys hadn't worked together in years. He was like,
couple of days prior to my trip to Austin, I had mentioned it to somebody, and that person had said he probably will if he hasn't remembered, he's going to bring it up. So
yeah,
when I'm with these two guys and Joe, and it's kind of going, it's just I was like, all right, well, we're not going anywhere with this. So I kind of pulled myself out of it. I went and socialized with somebody for like 2 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went to the bar, Shane's talking to some other comic who I see on Your Mom's House a lot. And he's talking about me, and he's kind of mentioning towards me, and he's motioning, and he's doing the fingers like you know what you did, and then I just said, I'm in your head because I at this point I knew we weren't joking, but I'm like, what am I supposed to like? So then he says to the guy, he said a bunch of shit about me, and he's being a pussy because he's not apologizing. He's saying saying that I apologize, or if I'm not, I'm a pussy. Okay, fine. There, Rosie.
What's happening?
Sorry,
somebody a dog whistle?
Yeah, something like that. I queefed. Rosie. Sorry, everybody.
Oh God.
This is like when I watch those.
He's on Shane's side.
It's like when I watch those political shows. Hey, what are you, Tony Hinchcliffe? He doesn't like Heathcliff the cat.
Right.
So Rosie, stop. Shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, Rosie. Sorry, everybody. It's very high budget show here. So I basically say to Shane, kind of like, I go, listen, I'm not going to apologize. And, that's just kind of that. Like, there's nothing to apologize for. I don't really know even what we're talking about. And I walk away, and then I saw Joe, and then I was just going to kind of leave. I was going to get this girl a drink. I got the girl a drink. And then I see Joe, and I tell Joe, I go, hey, I'm sorry about that Shane thing. And he was just kind of like, oh, I didn't really think it was a big deal.
Gotcha.
And then I just left. And that was and then I told this story about it because it's something that did actually happen. So, and then I put a clip out as a lot of different people that I don't know who I am. And, oh my God, I'm not funny. I don't have shoulders. I'm a loser. I only have and by the way, let me just say,
shoulderless nobody.
Having 1,000 followers, I think, is pretty good. Okay. I had no idea that was bad. I was like, I have 1,000 followers.
Killing it.
Yeah. I'm like, excuse me. And 800 of those I bought from a following factory in India.
Sure.
So
yeah, a follower farm.
Yeah, if you really want to split hairs, I really only have probably 80 followers, and 70 of them are you. So anyway, so I was getting all these, and I was trying to sort of engage with people on Instagram because it's very quick for me just to be like, hey, thanks for reaching out. Nice to meet a fan or whatever. And people were kind of, and even like Nick made the clip, and even the clip is like, I barely even say Shane's name for like a second, really. If you actually watch the clip,
I don't know.
Well,
I'm trying to remember.
I talk more about Tony and Puerto Rico than I do about Shane. Shane says, this guy said shit. And I said, are we doing this? And then from there, it turns on. Anyway, the point is that happened. I mean, if you actually listen to the whole show, which which apparently nobody did, which is fine. We spend 45 minutes talking about Austin before we even talk about the mothership, or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I spent a solid 20 minutes talking about the restaurant Kimberly that wanted to charge you for bread service.
And the bread service.
So do I need to apologize to Kimberly?
And now the leather bar didn't have any merch.
Yeah, the leather bar was a bear bar.
Bear bar didn't have any merch.
They also do denim and cowboy night. So it's not just leather.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, and then obviously, and then, Joe and I were, or at least are, I don't know, good friends. And I had not spoken to Joe. I'd sent Joe I called him a few times. I'd sent him a couple of things on Facebook Marketplace that I thought he thought were funny, because I kind of do that now. And he had sort of responded like, haha, to one thing, or that was it. But I hadn't heard from him, which was a little unusual because, there are times when Joe and I will talk once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day,
which is insane. I mean, like, I can't remember the last conversation I had on the phone with a friend.
Well, Joe,
I'll do in person, but not.
Joe likes to talk on the phone, and so do I. I mean, we're close to the same age, and also, well, he'll drive places by himself, and I'll walk the dogs by myself. So it's like he does the same thing I do. Like, if he might look at his say, okay, I have a half an hour drive to the whatever. I'll give Brian a call or somebody else a call or whatever. So Joe likes, and I don't mind talking on the phone, and I like talking to Joe. So it's fine. So, but I had talked to Joe for 2 weeks plus. So then I sent him a Facebook Marketplace thing last week, and he sent me a text message, and the text message was basically saying, and again, broad strokes, he said like, hey, we haven't talked, and I'm, embarrassed by you, and I'm disappointed in how you behaved, and all this other stuff. But in this text message, and he goes, but I don't want to talk about it. So I sort of responded, and I said, well, listen, we've been friends for 20 years or something. Right. If you want to talk, we can talk about it. But I don't want to do a back and forth text messaging thing, which turned into a little bit of a back and forth text messaging thing. Mm-hmm. And again, but at a certain point, he says in the text message, you're going to use this on your clips, and you're going to talk about. Oh, no. I know, but here's the thing: I'm not going to read the text messages. Yeah, and there are a couple of things that I take umbrage with, and the only way to do it is just, I guess, here. So, the idea that number one, that this thing happened with Shane, and number one, I wasn't looking for that at all. Like, you know what I mean? I was there to see Joe. I had a good time. If I ran into Shane, somebody had given me the heads up that he might, say something or whatever. But I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'll see the guy, and I'll just be like, yeah, it was 6 years ago. And
right. I mean, squash it maybe.
I mean, or like, I mean, and I know I've said this before. I mean, why should that stop me ever? But like, if Shane had walked into that bar and saw me and been like, oh, you're the guy that said I wasn't nice to you. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. And he just kind of fucked with me for a minute. I would have folded like a card table. I just would have been like, hey, don't worry about it. It's fine. You know,
Sure.
but-
Yeah. It's all about your posture going into
But
a conflict.
but I mean, and why was it even a conflict? But when you come in and you're like, you're an asshole if you don't apologize, it's like, well,
Yeah.
dude, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't
Right.
even apologize for what? What are you talking about? I mean, for example, like when we would do the breaking, you know, and I know people listen to the show that remember the old show with Kevin, but when
Breaking
you
bridges.
do burning bridges. I
You
know.
started to
I
say
don't
breaking.
even know the name of my own show.
Jesse Pinkman and Walter White.
Hey, dog. My blue meth man.
Yeah, my chili pea.
Yeah. So, but when you watch the old show, you know, the show was by nature confrontational and antagonistic. And occasionally we'd have guests come on and they would know who Kevin is because that's why they're on the show. And they look at me like, who's this, you know, drunk, blind
Who's
idiot
this
or
slouchy weirdo.
Slouchy weirdo. Exactly. They say, who's this slouchy weirdo?
Who's this
So,
slouchy weirdo?
And some people, like, for example, I had referenced off the show, like Dante Nero, who had done the show once or twice.
Mhm.
He would always come on and he would be dismissive of me and sort of be like, which again, I get it. It's fine. But at the same time,
You're
like,
a civilian.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're civilians.
That's a whole nother thing. Right.
We don't go up anywhere.
Yeah, I don't go up anywhere. Where do you go up? You got any jokes for
really
us?
go down.
So Dante, what's got me laughing?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but then there are other people. For example, Bill Burr did this show, and Bill Burr was actually who, you know, was probably one of the more successful guests we've had on the show.
Well, that was on MLC though, right? He
that
didn't
was
do
on MLC. You're right. I made a mistake.
That would be funny. Actually, it would be crazy to see him do that, but I don't think he would go to Compound Media because of the sort of
now
their politics.
But now if the Saudi Arabian government paid him $1 million,
right.
He's like, so Anthony, where do I sig Heil, dude? Do I got to sig Heil over here, Anthony Cumia?
Mm-hmm.
How do I go to Anthony? So this white hood, do I wear this for the whole show, or do I wear it in the beginning, take it off? Because I cashed the check anyway.
Yeah.
See, now I'm having fun.
Sure, but really, I don't know that this conversation is more about what happened with Joe, more so than we're getting into the Shane thing.
It
again.
is. I'm just illustrating the point that I'm trying to. Yes, well,
it happened to you. Like it wasn't anything you went looking for.
Exactly right. And then when I saw Shane at the bar, and you know, he said the pussy apologize thing.
Right.
I just left. I didn't want, and I literally left because I didn't want. This was Joe had just done, 4 nights at this, 3 nights at this place, and a bunch of shows, and I didn't want to like have this thing escalate. So did I leave because it was late and I wasn't drinking and I was just going to go back to the hotel room and jerk off anyway? Yes, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I don't want to cause any problems, but it wasn't like I went in there looking for anything. But at the same time, I don't have anything to apologize for. Like to me, that's the disconnect. It's
okay,
go ahead.
If we can, and I don't know how much you want to get into this, but I think it's interesting. But did at any point did Joe ask you not to talk about it?
No, because we never
didn't. He didn't. So so it just was a thing where he was like,
but also,
hey, that was weird, but and then you went home.
It was you're okay. I see what you're saying. No, what happened was I saw the girl, I gave the girl the drink, and then Joe was there. I said to Joe, I said, hey, I think I'm going to get out of here. And I think I remember saying, I'm sorry to Joe. I'm like,
sorry
about that Shane thing. And Joe was kind of like, don't worry about it. It was kind of like a don't worry about it thing. And again, everyone at this point, I had a couple of drinks and whatever. So, but I just said, hey, I'm just going to get out of here. Great job. Thank you.
Gotcha.
I'll call you tomorrow morning. Maybe we can get breakfast. I knew we weren't, but I said, I'll call you tomorrow morning before I leave and we can maybe get breakfast before I go. So how he and it wasn't like he took me to the side and he was like, look, a lot of things happened tonight.
Got you. Okay. So for some reason, maybe I assumed or no, I don't know. Something was said, but I was under the impression that he was like, listen, that was not good, but I don't want this to be fodder.
Right. No, there was
he never said that. Okay. Well, so then Brian's going to do kind of what Brian's going to do.
Well, and also like when you say fodder, like we're talking directly about my personal experience.
Sure.
Like it's like, I'm allowed to talk about things that have happened.
Well,
to me.
And I would think it would be understood that you're gonna, if he didn't actually ask you not to.
And the thing, and in the text message from Joe, and this again is where I was disappointed, was Joe said was sort of intimating, maybe not intimating is not the right word, but like
Right.
that I did this for the sort of the clout of it and
Got you.
to sort of get clicks and likes and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can maybe understand where that's coming from, but if you look at the clip, I didn't hashtag anybody. I didn't put Shane's name in. I didn't put Tony's name in.
Right.
I may have put Mothership in just for the location, but like I didn't actively look to like get other people. I didn't do it in the way, number one, because I'm an idiot. I don't even know really how to, I mean, I know how to put an at mention and put at Shane Gillis or at,
right.
you know, Tony or at, you know, Kill Tony or whatever. But I certainly didn't put at Joe DeRosa. I talked about this in the spirit, the same way that I talked about the bread service at Kimberly or whatever. It's just one of these things that happened on the trip. And it's just how I remember it. And I was telling the story and I tried to keep the story as close to the facts as I remember them as possible. And so that was it. So I'm disappointed that Joe has said that he's upset. And I wish it wasn't the case. I wish we could talk about it, but I've tried calling Joe a couple of times and he hasn't picked up. So I'll wait to hear from him and we'll see how that goes. But I didn't like, this didn't happen. And I didn't go home and go, okay. I mean, I did think, and I will say to be, you know, in the spirit of candor, I did reach out to Nick before I had heard from Joe. And I was like, you know what, maybe we'll cook up because Nick made 2 clips at Brian M's show. There you go. That you can find the 2 clips. And one's like where I talk about even before I went there, like meeting Joe Rogan with you,
right,
and talking to him about making Trump the president. Which, by the way, it's a fucking joke. Everybody, just relax.
Gotcha.
Like it's stupid. It's meant to be stupid. And so that was even before we went. And then the second clip that Nick made was the one where I'm talking to Tony in Puerto Rico and the license plate, and you know, we're talking 48 seconds. And it is funny though, the comments from people, because people are like, "You really think that he got elected because of what Tony did?" And I'm like, "Oh God, guys, no."
Single-handedly,
yes,
I would say
yes. Tony is a kingmaker, the kingmaker Heathcliff, and so anyway, so like that's where the whole thing kind of went. Is like I did say to Nick, I was kind of like, "Hey, you know what? Because these things really did happen. So why don't we make another clip? And this clip will really get into the Shane thing. And we'll really do it. Well, let's make a Shane clip. But then I thought about it. And within a few hours, I hit Nick back and I was like, and he didn't started making it yet anyway. And I said to Nick, I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to because the one thing of all of this stuff, my takeaway was I didn't want people to be like, Brian, because trust me, if I was really that calculating, do you think I would only have 1,000 followers or whatever? Right. You know what I mean? Like, this is a fun thing that we do. And I'm always happy to have the people listen, and certainly our friends on Patreon and YouTube. It's great to have that support. But you know, it wasn't like this wasn't part of like, all right, I'm back from Austin and now I can, you know, trade on my 20 years of friendship with Joe had paid off, and I can make a clip about this perceived, you know, transgression against Shane Gillis or whatever. So I know for someone who keeps saying that they don't want to talk about it anymore, I'm talking about it, but you know, I'd like to, it's in the rearview mirror, but you know, the whole thing is just,
so I just skimmed the text messages to kind of see what. And it's just, he just was like, you know, he was mad that you made a clip of it, essentially. Right. Yeah. It was just sort of like, I can't, but I'm also kind of like somebody that knows you, not even that, like you, that the funny thing about it is like, you don't even really, I don't know that you tell Nick to even make clips of whatever, but
I do not.
Right. But he was just like, this was the juiciest one. So he's doing his job. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I would sort of argue that like, I have not known you 20 years.
No.
And I would say that's exactly what Brian's going to do. Like, obviously. Right. But I'm not even faulting you for that, but it's just, it's a notable thing that happened in your life with a guy that's a very big name right now, that it's unbelievable that he would still be holding a grudge. Like, how could you not talk about it?
Well, it's also like, number one, it really did happen. So
number two, of course.
And number two, I'm allowed to talk about it. But also number three, like I would argue, not argue, but I would say that I talk about the thing with Shane as much as I would talk about anything.
The
Like,
bread service.
Yes, it just is an event
Yeah,
that
yeah,
happened.
It's an event that happened.
That happened, and people,
Sure.
you know,
but it happened to be the thing that he didn't clip the thing about bread. He clipped the thing about that, and so and then Joe saw the clip because
Adam,
he sees you show the clip.
It clearly shows what you know. We're saving that for sweep.
Oh yeah, well
okay?
You got to tease the good stuff.
I'm dropping the bomb.
On
the bread service at Kimberly Restaurant at 7th Street.
It's going to be a 3-parter.
It's going to be 9/11 times 1,000 in that restaurant. When
but it's just interesting because this all kind of, I feel like that if in my analysis as an outsider in the situation, but it all kind of seems like it built a little bit from the first situation where you kind of like randomly were like, hey, I'm coming down to Austin. And then remember it was weird. And he was like, I don't really, it's not my show that week. So I can't really bring you as a guest and it might be weird. And then I don't know how we got there, but it's sort of the joke was, what do you think? I'm going to embarrass you in front of Joe Rogan? Because remember he had said like Joe Rogan has actually kicked people out of the, so I'm just saying this is what
a self-fulfilling prophecy or something.
This is what it looks like to me as hold on. Let me get what it looks like to me is that he was like, because the implication was that like you were going to sort of embarrass Joe or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Or something. But then like,
sure.
Then but the irony of it is you went there and it came to you. Like you didn't do anything to initiate it, which is like, it actually came to you because of a prior thing, right?
Yeah. And I've also run through my head where it would have been like, let's say Shane walks in, because at one point Joe says in a text message, and again, I'm just trying to he says in this text message, like, I doubled down. And I'm like, I don't really know what I doubled. Like I am, and maybe because I'm an idiot or something, but like, I'm confused about how
and without betraying any confidence,
go ahead.
What I gleaned from the text messages is he thought you should have apologized.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
I agree. That's what he thought. Yes, but I also like I don't for the life of me, like with a gun in my mouth, I don't understand what I'm supposed to apologize for. Like, I'm sorry, 6.5 years ago you were on this show, and I feel like you are being dismissive and big timing me a little bit. And I'm sorry that I referenced that when your name came up. And I'm sorry that over the years, as a goof, when your name comes up, I act like I'm still horrified by the idea that it's
here's the tricky thing about apologies, are you got to actually mean it.
But like,
and you don't, but which is okay.
Yeah, but also like he's the person. I don't want Voldemort or whatever. Right. The person who's asked me to apologize, I'm like, what exactly are you wanting me to apologize for? I'm supposed to apologize for remembering an interaction. Like, what am I? Or like, okay, for example, let's say he comes in and he's at the bar and he says to Joe, "Oh yeah, I know this guy, Brian. He said a bunch of shit about me and he said it on Twitter." And I look at him and I go, "I didn't say anything on Twitter, but let me take this opportunity to apologize, because over 6 years ago, when you came on the show, I remember you being, and clearly this is not the person you are." Like, what? Like, this is not the person you are.
Right.
I remember you being a little dismissive of me and kind of big timing me and doing a lot of like, who the fuck is this guy kind of stuff, which, by the way, I cannot believe that I had the audacity, nay, the termacity to say that on a show that when your name comes up for comedic effort, I would say the event that I claim to have transpired, which I am now apologizing for, because everything I said that transpired did not transpire. So for that, I am sorry. It would be great if I picked up like a broken pint glass and I cut my arm and I'm like, Lamb of God, you take the blood of my life.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like,
but yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying fundamentally, I'm not saying you did anything wrong here, but it's like fundamentally that's the thing with conflict. And that's why conflict go. It's like fucking. This is like the Middle East, basically.
Okay.
Which is they both think they're right,
Yeah, but
and they're not gonna. Nobody's gonna apologize. There's nothing wrong with that.
right. But also,
You
like,
can just live your lives separately.
but also, like, I don't even think I'm right. I just know what happened. Like, I'm not even
Right, but I'm saying,
Okay,
like,
yes.
yes, you took some jabs
yes,
because you felt big timed.
yes.
Okay.
Which
So it's not really going to be just you apologize. It would have to be a mutual thing where you would go, listen, I
Right.
maybe took some liberties because you weren't a comedian and I, you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
weren't a
yeah.
stand up and I, with Kevin, but it's like, it wasn't going to be that mutual thing. So there's
Can
not
you
going to be an
imagine-
apology.
Okay, here's another scenario. Imagine, imagine if he came in and I looked at him and I went, no. You owe me an apology. That would have been like the crazy talk. That would have been like, that would.
Well, but do you know what I'm like?
Yes,
There have been
understand-
enough.
yes.
Like I've been in fucking relationship counseling before. I mean, this is basically like a gay relationship.
Sure.
There's a lot of tension and
Couple
a
of- we're
lot
both-
of
we're both-
chafing,
We're both bottoms.
a lot of fucking beard rash.
Can we bring it? Can we bring it a top
Yeah,
somewhere?
right. But
Where's Tony?
It's,
Tony
it's-
Hinchcliffe.
It's the thing is, usually there's a kernel of something, and then you got to kind of like it has to kind of happen.
Yes.
The healing has to
I
happen,
guess.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And but it's not, you're both still dug in. That's okay.
Right.
My thing is like, listen, I'm not trying to tell anybody that they know anybody or they don't, but I haven't known you 20 years.
Right.
And I would say unequivocally, if that's the right word, like I would put all the money on the fact that you were going to come home and you were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Especially considering you're not sorry.
Well,
And again, there's nothing wrong with
Right.
that. It's fucking stupid. Nobody should really apologize to anybody. You should just go like, it's water under the bridge. All right. Like we're
Yeah.
fucking dudes. Like who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
And-
mean?
And also, like, and I do want to make it sort of clear, like, yeah, I talk about it, yes, but I didn't try to like profit from it, or I didn't try to like, like I said, the whole tagging and the mentioning and all that
Right.
shit. I didn't do any of that. You can look
Right.
at the fucking stupid clip. Like, there's none of that stuff on there. Like, the only really concern when I wasn't like, oh, I shouldn't tell this story. I was like, oh, I'll just say it how I remember it happening and whatever.
Yeah, it
But, like,
happened to you.
But at the same time, the one thing I didn't want is I didn't want, Joe or frankly anybody to look at anything or even, God forbid, listen to the show and be like, oh, this guy, Brian, he decided that he was going to try to get another 7 Patreon followers
Right.
because he talked about this and he's trading on his interaction with somebody who's much more successful than he is. Like, I'm like, oh God, whatever. Listen, I didn't even mention this part, but like I heard from the Bear Bar and
Okay.
they said to me, we had a box of mouse pads in the basement
Right.
that we would have sold you. So when you say we don't have any merch, we have some merch,
Yeah.
but it's water damaged. And I would have purchased
Slightly
a water
moldy.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have purchased a water, well, like dry rot.
Got you.
But
Gotcha.
I would have purchased a water damaged Austin Bear Bar mouse pad, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I would have made a carpet of them just all over the living room floor.
Yeah, 100%.
So anyway, I don't know if we'll see if I hear from Joe. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's one of those
Right.
things. So, but I like, just again, not to keep circling back, but
It's that's what happens when you have different takes on a thing. It's like you have one guy that's like, you should have fully apologized. This is what whatever. And then you have another guy that's like, listen, it was a fucking stupid thing, but I'm not gonna, like, there's no stakes here.
right.
So I'm not apologizing. Also, it's kind of amazing that you have like a Bud Light campaign with fucking I can't remember his name.
I don't even
Post
care.
Malone, and you're mad. You're like playing Aritas, and you're mad at Brian McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's kind of
That's-
amazing.
That's kind of been the kind of years long joke with me being like,
Right.
Shane Gillis is it's like I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't.
it's
The fact that
whatever,
I
it's
had to
stupid.
explain it is
Yeah.
the dumbest thing of all of it. So anyway, look,
Right.
I certainly wish the guy all the best, and who cares, and like whatever.
You should go, what if you reached out to Joe and said, just give me his phone number? I'm gonna call him.
And then I'm clearly have him
And then
on
you give it out,
speakerphone.
and then you give it out.
I give it out. I put it on. Yeah. Thanks to, and I just tagged, thanks to @Joe DeRosa Comedy for giving me Shane Gillis's phone number. You're right, Joe. He is a hashtag bitch boy. And also, I also know that Joe and Shane do a lot of work together.
Sure.
So like, I understand that element of all this too. So
Absolutely.
look, I hope Joe can, I don't know what I hope.
Right.
It's like-
But yeah, listen, I mean, hopefully you'll get past
I don't
it.
know.
but
We'll
it's
see.
Like, it's kind of like Brian's gonna Brian. You know what I mean?
Yes. But again, I cannot imagine standing there and being like, I am so sorry for doing that 6.5 years ago. It's like, it is beyond absurd. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's very absurd. But it's almost also, I feel like the connotation is like, pardon me if I'm misinterpreting this, but it's a little bit like, I'm very successful now, so you should apologize.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't really subscribe to that
Yeah, I
whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
as was mentioned, you are a nobody.
Do you think
That slouches,
Yes.
and
exactly.
what do you have really to gain?
I got a lot of old comments too. Who's this old guy? Although I will say the funniest thing, and then we can go to the free show or the Patreon.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing was when some guy said something about like, I'm a big nobody, and I
Yeah.
responded and I said, I'll have you know, I was on VH1 37 years ago. And some other guy responds and goes, what's a VH1? And I responded, and of course, like, by the way, I'm joking about bragging
No,
about
of
being
course,
no,
of
but
course.
not of course, because that doesn't translate apparently on comments. But so then the guy goes, what's a VH1? And then I
What's
said,
a VH1?
right.
But
Which
that's
was
also
funny.
what people say, like, as a joke too. They'll be like, "What's
Yes.
an MTV?"
I bet the guy knows what VH1
Yeah, he was
really is.
probably
But we're
also-
all just
So
kind of
it's
like,
just becomes like a fucking
it's just this
dog eating
seesaw
its
of
tail.
nonsense, right? So then I was just like, I responded back and I said, all right, you got me. That was funny. And that was it.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
a good
So,
clean fun. Well,
Good.
listen, let's jump over to the first. This is what I want to say.
Go ahead.
Big announcement.
Oh.
Okay, if you want to become a member of the
Yes.
YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and you can actually watch this happen live right now.
Oh my gosh.
We finally got
Whoa.
the join button on the mobile. YouTube was really like dragging,
Oh man.
they really drag
Yep.
things out or whatever. It was like in beta and like, but whatever. But now you can actually join. If you're watching this on a phone, you can join on mobile.
Oh, we have a join button.
Yeah, there's a join button.
Why does
Finally,
it-
that was the thing that they weren't doing. It's because there's a whole thing with like the Apple Store and I mean, truth be told, like Apple charges an extra couple of bucks, so it's better if you get it on the desktop. But you can do it on mobile
Okay.
now.
So, okay, everybody.
So if you want to
So-
become a member now, I used to put the link so
Okay, no
so they
link.
could click it on a phone, but now I don't have to do that anymore
Does-
because we have to you can actually click join
Does the
on
join
your
button,
mobile.
Were we able to pick a font? Is it Helvetica, Times New Roman? Does
It's
it
just
sparkle?
it's just a join button.
Not a sparkly.
Yeah, it's not MySpace where you can cuss.
Okay.
It's just a join button. I did nothing. It's just
Okay.
at a certain point, YouTube says, "Here's the join button.
So
you
the-
can have it."
So the J doesn't look like a funny clown umbrella.
No,
Like a,
no,
okay,
no.
well,
There's
that's
no
fine. Well,
customization.
all right, we'll get into that.
But
Hey,
that was like the thing because people are like, how do I join?
Press
And then
play.
it's like sometimes they're looking on the phone and the button's on there. You have to go to a desktop.
no,
Now you could do it on the phone.
Okay.
Android, you could always do it on the phone.
Oh boy,
But it's the Apple thing
Android.
that's the problem.
the Austin, Texas of smartphones,
Right.
Android.
Right.
And also, just while we're doing this, October 27th, Gotham Comedy Club. Just look up Laugh, LAUGH 4 FOR SIGHT, Laugh for Sight. I'm hosting. We have Carmen Lynch and we have Rich Voss, Bonnie McFarlane, a bunch of Matt Broussard and Marina Franklin, and I think I'm forgetting somebody. But it's a lot of fun. It's a benefit. It's a Monday night. I'm hosting, so there's that. It'll be 5 minutes of your life you won't get back, but the rest of the show is good. So that'll be fun. So that is coming up on the 27th, and all the socials obviously are Brian M Show, and we'll go over to the thing super quick. 1 second before we go. By the way, just talking about just to kind of keep the feuds going here, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
I was like, I was a member of the Tom Segura, like Your Mom's House, the $3 a month,
Right.
and I just undid it because I just got so annoyed because
Because
his wife was talking about her lipstick sales like for a solid minute and a half, and then they switched to another commercial, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is
too much
just-
advertising.
It's just a
for
lot
you.
of just just either have the ads and then don't have them in the middle of the show. Like, how much money do we all need to make?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the fucking question, because the money's on the table. People take it, and it gets you sort of alienate people
Trust
at a
me.
certain point.
I've been to Austin, Texas. There's only so much money you can spend on bread. Although if you go to
Right.
Kimberly's a lot,
Brisket tacos.
yeah, go to Kimberly's a lot. You need those porterhouse roll
Right.
bills really add up.
for sure.
So, Matt, did you guys make your own sourdough starter? Yeah, let's talk about that for a half an hour. All right, everybody,
Okay.
thank you. We're going over to the other show right now, so we'll see you. And next week, Stacy Pressman. That's been a long time.
Wait, is she really coming?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, that's why you were talking about her.
Yeah,
You
earlier.
didn't mention she was coming.
Stacy
Oh my
Pressman,
God.
who's
I
not
gotta
been on the show.
bleach my
Asshole.
penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacy Pressman
Stacey
actually reached out to me
Pressman.
out of nowhere. Maybe she was
Is that
following
right?
the great Brian Shane thing of
Cute, yeah.
2025.
She said, "I want to jump. We want to get some of this heat."
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be in the wrong side of history.
Mhm.
So anyway, so
Pressman's coming. All right,
Pressman.
well, that's fun. All right.
big
Talk about how
titties.
her dad's head fell off.
Okay, I forgot about
She was
that. one.
bleeding from the anus, and her dad's head fell off.
Oh yeah,
She's
right.
got all the good
Yeah,
stories.
she does. We'll
Yeah.
get little toesies out here. Give him a kiss
For sure.
Little
Jesus.
Jew toes. All right, we'll see you guys next
Okay,
week.
bye.